In the grand finale of Game of Thrones, our fiery queen, Daenerys Targaryen, went out with a bang. Well, more like a scorching inferno that would make even a dragon sweat. After going all pyromaniac on King's Landing, Daenerys met her demise at the hands of our noble brooding hero, Jon Snow. But what about her trusty, scaly companion, Drogon? I mean, that dragon has a bone to pick with Westeros. This question becomes even more crucial with news that the Jon Snow sequel would release in a few years. Instead of barbecuing his mother's killer, Drogon redirected his fury towards the symbol of power itself, the Iron Throne. Drogon, in his rage-induced rampage, didn't just roast the Iron Throne to a crisp and call it a day, but he also scooped up Daenerys Targaryen's lifeless body and soared into the horizon. Later, Samwell says he was last seen going east, and it was later confirmed by the showrunners that he was going to Volantis. Now, here's where things get a bit perplexing. Now that the mother of dragons is dead and Drogon is an orphan, who would become his new rider? I mean, there are rumors that there could be a dragon somewhere in the north, and even if that turns out to be a hoax, Drogon is alive and thriving. He's already a threat to Westeros, but more so without a rider. And, anyone riding the majestic beast would not only become ultra-powerful but would have an upper hand in magic, since dragons probably resonate magic. The reason why Bran was interested in the whereabouts of Drogon could also be for the same reason.
And Drogon? Any word?
He was last spotted flying east.
Perhaps I can find him.
A three-eyed raven is basically a magical being, and he could be looking to increase his powers. But Jon Snow has already ridden a dragon, so that makes him a strong contender. On the other hand, there are the Dragonseeds, the bastard children of Targaryens and Valyrians, who also played an important role in the Dance of Dragons. So, who will it be? In this video, we will explore all those who could ride Drogon in the Jon Snow sequel. Without any more delay, let's swoop right in. Number 1. Why is Jon the best contender for riding Drogon? Jon Snow seems to be the ultimate candidate to hop on Drogon's scaly back after the fiery demise of our beloved Khaleesi. Jon, brooding and burdened with guilt, stood as the last person to witness the majestic beast, and the cause of Drogon's dragon-sized grief. Drogon knows him as the guy who offed his mother, Daenerys. The upcoming Jon Snow spin-off, which takes place after the events of Game of Thrones, will not just be about locating the wayward dragon, it's about Jon confronting his inner turmoil and finding redemption. And now, with Drogon on a rampage, laying waste to cities and innocents, Jon's guilt kicks into overdrive. He realizes that his actions have left Drogon without anyone to tame him, leaving a trail of fiery chaos in his wake. This is where Jon Snow's journey for redemption truly takes flight. Driven by guilt, and a desire to make amends, Jon ventures back from beyond the wall, because he's got that knack for surviving the freezing cold, to track down Drogon. It's a quest that brings him face to face with the very embodiment of his mistakes, but also an opportunity to fix his disappointing role in the final season of Game of Thrones. Furthermore, Jon Snow's arc is intertwined with dragons and Targaryens, thanks to that juicy revelation of his true lineage. With his noble Targaryen and Stark blood and uncanny ability to connect with these magnificent creatures, Jon Snow has already shown he can tame dragons better than most mere mortals. Number 2. Why was Bran so interested in Drogon's whereabouts? At the first small council meeting with Bran the Broken as king, the only thing he seems interested in, is the whereabouts of Drogon. There are a number of possible reasons for this. 1. He wants to tame the dragon and ride, or maybe vogue into it. 2. He wants to slay the beast for the good of the realm, but knowing Bran, we know that he would not do so. I mean, the three-eyed Raven King has magical powers, which Drogon can increase monumentally. So, what is going on in the mind of our Vogue, turned all-knowing seer? You see, Bran, with his newfound powers and the ability to tap into the werewood network, possesses a unique understanding of the realm. He sees the past, the present, and even glimpses of the future. With his wise and all-seeing gaze, Bran recognizes the immense power and significance that Drogon holds. Bran's motives are often shrouded in mystery, just like his cryptic one-liners. But let's entertain the idea for a moment. As the three-eyed raven, Bran has the potential to commune with creatures and beings beyond the realm of ordinary mortals. His connection to the natural world, his warging abilities, and his profound understanding of the balance between life and death could make him a worthy candidate to ride Drogon. Perhaps Bran, driven by his duty to protect the realm, envisions a future where he can guide Drogon toward a more peaceful purpose. With his vast wisdom and the dragon's immense power, they could become a force for good. However, many theories suggest that Bran is actually a villain in the books as well as the show, so it is quite possible that if Bran does ride or get hold of Drogon through his warging abilities, he may very well become the overlord of Westeros. Together, they would be the embodiment of knowledge and ancient magic merged with fire and fury. Number 3. What about Dragonseeds? The Dragonseeds were quite busy during the dance, and changed the course of the war when two of them switched sides. But who are Dragonseeds? Well, when the Dance of Dragons began, the Blacks had more dragons than riders. With the death of people like Laena Valyrian in the book, the number of riderless dragons increased. Additionally, Dragonstone had several wild dragons like Sheep Stealer, Cannibal, and Grey Ghost. So, Prince Jaehaerys asked the Dragonseeds or the bastard children of Welaryons and Targaryens to try and claim these dragons. And in return for achieving this feat, they were promised lands, castles, lordships, and more. Several Dragonseeds succeeded. For instance, Hugh, a blacksmith's bastard, bonded with Vermithor. Ulf the White, a man-at-arms, bonded with Silverwing. Adam of Hull bonded with Seasmoke, and was legitimized as Adam Valyrian, and made heir to Driftmark shortly thereafter. And lastly, Nettles bonded with Sheep Stealer. So, since the Dragonseeds had managed to claim dragons during the dance, they might do so once again. And, it's definitely possible that Targaryen bastards have survived in Westeros. Personally, I would love to watch a few of them brought to life in the Jon Snow spin-off. Number 4. Arya Stark. While Arya does not have a direct Targaryen bloodline, she has proven herself as a skilled and agile fighter. Furthermore, she is smart. If you would remember, she is the only one in the entire show apart from Daenerys herself who was happy and excited to see a dragon for the first time. It was almost as if all she ever wanted to do was hop on a dragon. If the Jon Snow sequel were to introduce a concept where strength and skill play a part in dragon riding, Arya's abilities could potentially make her a candidate. Let me know what you thought about this video and consider subscribing for more such content. Thanks, and have a good day.